This is Shane Watson here from PSV Sports. I'm lucky enough to be joined by ring legend Montell Griffin. How are you, Montell?
I'm doing fine, brother. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good, thanks. Thought we'd get you on the line today, as we've had a few legends of the sport in on the phone before. We've had Tim Witherspoon to speak for one, and many other legends from boxing. Montell, let's go a little bit on your career first before we talk about boxing of 2017. In your career, you were the first person to beat Roy Jones Jr. and you also beat in form and in prime James Toney. Can you just give us a reflection on those victories, please?
It was an honor fighting James Toney. He was my favorite fighter. Got a chance to fight him twice, in 95 and 96. I thought I proved to the world that I was a great fighter by beating that Hall of Fame champion. And Roy Jones is another guy who I watched in '88 as the Olympics get robbed and followed his career. And actually, I talked to him as an amateur in the '91 Golden Gloves when I got robbed. He told me that the same thing happened to him, and keep moving forward. And I played basketball with him in '91, and ended up fighting him in '97. So a lot of people have a problem with the disqualification, but I don't understand why they mad at me, because he hit me when I took a knee. So I don't know what to say about that.
I mean, yeah, exactly. Like, I understand the circumstance of the Roy Jones Jr. fight. I mean, it was after you got the knockdown, wasn't it? And you got hit as you took a knee, I believe.
Well, he threw a right hand, and I saw it coming, and I tried to roll with it instead of trying to pick it off with my right hand, and I regret that to this day. He hit me in the back of the head. I was a little dizzy. So I just told myself, I thought I was winning the fight. I said, just take a knee, take this knockdown, and just come back to these last 3 rounds and win the fight. And, without me watching, without me knowing, I looked at the referee to catch the count, and Roy, walked to me and hit me twice, which he was just frustrated, I think, with my style. And, it is what it is.
And what would you consider to be your career best victory? Is it your victory over James Toney?
The second James Toney fight, the first fight, I didn't get no credit. People say it was a fluke. I only had 14 fights when I fought him. And, we fought again the next year. But it basically was like 2 years, because I fought him in January 95 and December 96. So basically it was like 2 years. And, he went on a winning spree. I went on a winning spree. We both had 10 fights. And we fought again, and I proved the world because I beat him even easier the second time. So, yeah, that was my biggest win.
So when you compare boxing to your era, to today's era, what would you say has changed? Do you think that in your era, the fighters like James Toney, like yourself, and Roy Jones Jr. would dominate boxing in this era?
I mean, I don't try to put down another era. I just feel that my era was the second greatest era in light heavyweight history with Virgil Hill, Roy Jones, James Toney, Lou Del Valle, all those guys. It was 1,000 great light heavyweights all fighting at the same time. Of course, the 70s with Michael Spinks and Quad Weir, Matthew Side was the greatest era in boxing history for light heavyweights. These guys now, I don't, it's hard to compare eras. Basically, most people just go with their heart and pick who they feel if they, during the time they was in. But I would love to fight, because of style-wise, I would have loved to fight Andre Ward. That was just one guy who was great, who had a great career. He won a gold medal at light heavyweight. He's one guy. And Bernard Hopkins is one guy who I would have loved to fight. I think style-wise, I could have matched up real good with them.
And also, talking about that era, so Roy Jones Jr. is not actually in retirement yet. He's still fighting. He's actually fighting again in February. What's your views on fighters like Roy Jones, who was a great and is still great, but is ruining his legacy in a sense by still fighting?
Well, I don't have nothing negative to say about no fighter. Roy is still living his dream. He loves to fight and he wants to fight. The only negative thing I say is boxing. Well, it's not negative; it's just facts. Boxing is a dangerous game, and I'm 47, so Roy's 48. He's a year older than me. It's dangerous. We've seen so many fighters get hurt in the ring, and I hope the best for hope the best for him. But if it was up to me, I'd like to see him retired. But he's doing what he wanted to do. So who am I to say?
Have you ever been tempted to make a comeback?
Yeah. I tried to make 2 comeback fights, and both times something happened where the fight. Something happened during my training where I feel like, man, it was just somebody telling me to just, let it go.
So when you speak to some ex-boxers and ex-world champions and stuff like that, a lot of them fall out of love with the game and they don't even watch boxing anymore. Are you still very much addicted to the game, like you watch boxing all the time?
Yeah, boxing to me is making a huge comeback. It's here to stay. There's so many great young fighters that's coming up that I love to watch. I love Canelo. I love Terrence Crawford, Earl Spence, Anthony Joshua, Deontay Wilder. The boxing is in good shape right now. Keith Thurman. So I could go on and on. I'm proud to be, to talk about boxing. Tell people, how good the game is and how exciting. We got some up and coming fights, and I'm just happy for boxing right now. I'm still not. I wish the government would take over. I'm tired of the bad decisions. I'm tired. We need a commissioner, somebody in charge, like Major League Baseball, NBA, basketball. We need somebody to take over these bad decisions. Get these judges who give away bad decisions. Hopefully, they don't work again. Promoters are here to try to make money. I would like the government to take over, hire Bob Arum, Don King, Al Hammond, all the top promoters, and just put them in a situation where they can promote, but have the government or whoever have a guy who's a commissioner take over and appoint the judges, and and just do it the right way.
Of course. And when you mention the names of Anthony Joshua, Anthony Joshua could have a massive 2018 ahead of him, and with the talks of a fight with Tyson Fury in the looms. What would you think the outcome of that fight would be?
Well, Tyson Fury took some time off. He has to get back in shape. He has to get back in the ring and fight somebody. You know what I'm saying, to get the cobwebs off. And I know in Europe that's a huge fight. They say Joshua, is bringing in 100,000. I think he's making 20 million a fight. He's a huge draw. I have no problem with that. People here in America would like to see Deontay Wilder. Well, I would like to see. I would love to see maybe Deontay Wilder and Ortiz and Fury and Joshua on the same card fight. And the winner, fights each other. If Joshua could beat Fury, if Wilder could beat Ortiz, let them fight each other, for a huge fight, maybe next summer or whatever.
Of course. And also a little bit on your fights with Roy Jones Jr. So obviously with the first fight, the disqualification to Roy Jones because of hitting you while you already took a knee. Obviously, that's it's an illegal shot, so rightly so, you get disqualified for that. And also in the rematch, can you talk a little bit about what happened in the rematch?
It's 20 years ago. It doesn't even bother me no more. It is what it is. I didn't want more 5 minutes for that fight. HBO wanted Roy to get his title back, and they rushed me out. I don't have to make no excuses. I've got witnesses who was there at the fight. Even Roy Jones people told me that they set me up. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna say nobody's name, but I have people from Roy Jones camp in my face tell me that they set me up and they rushed me out and they told me my manager and promoter knew about it. So it's crazy, but it is. It's part of boxing.
Of course. And what would you say is your most proudest achievement in boxing?
Making the 1992 Olympic team. My father died in '83. My mother made me quit boxing. I took off 8 years. I came back in '91. I made the Olympic team with 30 amateur fights. That's probably the hugest accomplishment in my life.
Oh, of course. And also, it could be a big year for American boxing as well. I mean, there's rematch talk between Gennady Golovkin and Canelo, possibly in Mexico or back in America again. What would be your thoughts on that rematch? And what was your thoughts on the first fight?
I think, I don't want to be biased because Canelo is probably my favorite fighter. But just watching that fight, skill wise, it's no comparison. I think he's a much, much better fighter than Triple G. I just think he got a little tired. And, I'm going to be honest, even though he's my favorite fighter, Triple G won the fight. Canelo was fortunate to get a draw, but I think if they fought a rematch, that Canelo would beat him much easier. He's went those 12 rounds. He felt his power, and I think he get in the gym, stay in the gym. I know Oscar have him right, be in tip-top shape, and I think he will outbox Triple G.
And just to round off, what if you could pick 3 fights you could see in 2018? Who would you pick?
Well, I actually saw a post. It was Wilder and Joshua, Triple G and Canelo, and it was Thurman and Errol Spence. That'd be three great fights for the year. That I wouldn't mind seeing. Or I wouldn't mind seeing Terrence Crawford and Errol Spence.
Yeah, some great matchups there to be made for 2018 for sure. And also, just to quickly round off the last question of the interview, can you confirm, will we see Montell Griffin back in the ring again?
No, it's over. I'm 47 years old. My legs hurt. My ankle hurt when I run. My body hurting. It's funny though because I get in the ring and spar, and I still could do everything that I used to do. But I'm training fighters. I got Sean Simpson. He's a 2012 U.S. alternate and 7-0 as a pro. He's my best fighter right now. I'm just putting all my time in him, and hopefully he can be a world champion next year and put me on the map as a trainer.
Okay, well, thanks for talking to PSP Sports today, Montell. Hopefully we can catch up with you in the near future, and have a happy new year too.
Thank you very much for having me, and all the best for you. Take care of yourself.
Okay, thank you. Bye.
All right.